Hi, this video is from interview.com. Interview.com is a job portal. In this video, I'm going to talk about what is an aspect in Spring AOP and what is after throwing advice. I've written a simple code to explain after throwing advice. What is an aspect? An aspect is a common feature that's typically scattered across methods, classes. For example, logging, security, auditing, transaction. So the main important goal of Spring AOP is to separate the cross-cutting layer from the service layer. I have written a very simple service layer class which is going to add an hotel. So here in a traditional way I will have all my logging code in the business layer itself. The main goal of Spring AOP is to separate the cross-cutting concerns code from the business layer. What does that mean? So I'll introduce an aspect. What is an aspect? Aspect is a Java class which is marked with aspect, and it will contain collection of advices. I have written here only one advice for demo purpose. So the advice is after throwing. What does that mean? After throwing advice runs when a matched method execution exceeds by throwing an exception. If you see this, I've given a point cut expression on the top. Why do we need a point cut expression? I have to inform the Spring container at which point or which method exactly this advice should be running. So point cut expression is nothing but somehow I have to inform the Spring framework when exactly the advice should be called. So this is the method. If it matches and the matched method is throwing an exception, then in that case this advice will be run. It will be running. Okay, so that's what after throwing means. What is join point? Join point is nothing but the target method. Here in our demo this is the target method. Okay, so I've just explained you what is after throwing advice and basics of aspect, and I've showed you the service layer. So we have completely separated the service layer and the cross-cutting concerns related code, that is logging code. And before starting my application, I want to just talk about enable aspect J out of proxy, which is very important annotation. You have to add this annotation in your configuration class in order to enable aspect feature in your application. Okay, you are just informing to Spring framework to enable aspect related features. So I'm going to start now. What's going to happen currently is Spring is going to create a proxy object, and it's going to create a wrapper method, and it's going to call my target method, then it's going to call the advice method. Let me run this program in a debug mode. I'll show you the exactly the proxy object created by the Spring framework. If you see this hotel is not a normal new hotel service IAML object. It's a proxy object. Okay, so it's a proxy object. If you see here, it's a proxy object. So it's going to call our method now, throw, and the aspect method. Okay, so I'm going to call that. So it's throwing an exception, so we will catch the exception here and we call the advice. So as I told you, it has created a proxy object, it called our service layer method, and it has called our advice. Okay, hope this video is useful and informative. Thank you and all the best.